update. The president and the vice president have been hard at work making sure that in this pandemic, we're doing everything we can to ensure equity. And I say that really earnestly. The truth of the matter is that every step along the way, they have been dogged in their pursuit of this notion of equity and how we can continue to make sure that it's at the forefront. And I think at no time has that been more pressing and more critical than the moment that we're in right now. And that's a tough moment that we're in. We look at the cases, and if you look at our data right now, over the last 7 days, we have just around 800,000 cases per day over the last 7 days. You do the math on that. That's a tremendous number, a tremendous number of cases every single week. And so you add that together, you add in the fact that we're having a large number of hospitalizations every single day, and a large number of deaths that continue to happen. And you recognize that we're still in a very difficult moment in this pandemic. But we're not at dire straits. We know there's much more that we can be doing to address it. And just to put a finer point on that, we've got about 21,000 hospitalizations per day across the country, and about 1,800 deaths per day by average. Every single we found is that, specifically with regard to the impact on communities of color, we have seen that we continue to see cases rising much faster in the Black community. And there are a lot of different factors behind that. We actually did a deep dive into where those cases are rising. You really can track it down to about 9 or 10 states where you see the bulk of those cases. And those states will be familiar to you. We're seeing Arkansas, South Carolina, North Carolina. We're seeing Illinois, Ohio, Texas, and Tennessee. You're seeing states that have had difficult challenges with, the number of cases in communities of color all along. And we're seeing that again here. But we're also seeing the benefit of our vaccination effort. Ever since September, we've been able to say that among adults, we have very similar vaccination rates between Black, white, and Latino adults, right around 82, 83%, based on nationally representative survey data, in particular our national immunization survey. So what that tells us is that we've been able to achieve that modicum of equity that Vice President Harris had in mind when she first called for a COVID-19 health equity task force. That task force has completed its charge in November. They've sent forward 55 recommendations, and we are hard at work implementing and executing on those. Over 80% of those recommendations, we've taken action because the vision that Vice President Harris had back when she was Senator Harris, the vision that President Biden had when he said equity should be at the center of this response, that's really what energizes and charges us every single day. And so I know I just have a couple of minutes with you at the top, but I just wanted to say we're in a tough moment with regard to cases and hospitalizations in particular. I'm an internal medicine doc. I was working in the hospital over this weekend, and just the sheer number of cases that we were seeing higher than at any point in the pandemic before. And that reflects what we're seeing nationally.